What's going on, you guys? TBR here, back yet again with another King of Fighters All-Star video, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the newest battle passes to be added into the game, as well as the Black Friday deals for 2021. Is there anything in here that you should be spending your hard-earned money on? Well, we're going to find out in today's video, but before we get into all of that and more, make sure if you guys are new here and you enjoy daily King of Fighters All-Star content such as this, that you smash that like button and subscribe, and hit the intro music. Alright, you guys, so the first thing that we're going to take a look at in today's video is of course going to be the Black Friday shop items. So the first thing that you guys should be aware of is we do have these mystery boxes again this year. So basically this is something we've seen before with these types of boxes where they're pretty much going to have a bunch of really cool items in them, but they are going to cost you if you want them. So as you guys can see here, this first package is going to be offering up a maximum of 10 of these boxes for 600 rubies per box. So for 600 rubies, what you are going to potentially be getting here is actually going to be quite a bit of value. So as you guys can see, there are going to be some different selectors for different cards. So you're going to be able to see here, if you hit the little plus icon, what will be involved with all of these different things. So you're going to get different vouchers potentially here. You're also going to be able to potentially pick up multis for the current collaboration, which of course is going to be the Guilty Gear collaboration. But then you're also going to have these imprint stone boxes down here. So you're going to have mystery boxes for your imprint stones as far as your plus imprint stones are concerned. So when it comes to the Black Friday box, it is definitely going to have a lot of potential value in it. It definitely has a value proposition to it. However, the biggest issue is of course going to be the fact that it is a mystery box. So you could potentially go in here and spend all these rubies for these and not end up with anything that you wanted, which is going to be the biggest downside here. So honestly, you guys, I don't necessarily, with the collaboration going on right now, think that I can recommend in good faith that you guys pick these up with your rubies right now. Maybe if you still have some of the login rubies that were free, you might decide to go in on these at that point. But even then, this is a big gamble. So if you're somebody that does feel lucky out there and you want to pick these up or buy a couple of them and see if you might want to try your hand at the luck here, then you can do so. However, I don't necessarily know that it is going to be a way that I would spend my rubies, just considering the fact that RNG is RNG, and chances are you are probably going to burn through a lot of rubies picking these up and might not end up with anything that you need. If you're somebody who is newer that could definitely use a lot of these different card selectors in here, because there's quite a few of those, then that is something to consider as well. And the one other thing that is worth noting here is that these Guilty Gear multis here are going to have a little bit better of a rate than even the selectors for these cards do, but they still are kind of middle of the road as far as the rates are concerned, or towards the bottom end. So honestly, you guys, may not be the way that I would go, but it comes down to how many rubies you have and how comfortable you feel making this gamble. But those are there, and they are going to be featured in most all of these different packages, so I figured I would start with that. So when it comes to the different packages here, this one here is going to give you a Black Friday mystery box and 3,000 plus capsules for $40. I would pass on this. You know, 3,000 capsules is a lot of capsules, but you don't need to be spending money on capsules in this game, at least in my opinion. Then you're going to have the Battle Card Transcendence package. This one here is going to have a bunch of the different cards that you would need to build up your cards. In my opinion, you don't want to pick this up either for $20. That is just overpriced in my opinion for the value proposition, so I would pass on that, especially considering the fact that you can play the long game with Transcendence and it's not that big of a deal. Next up here, going to have the Rainbow Soul package. This one here is going to net you 600 Rainbow Souls and a Black Friday mystery box for 10 bucks. I would pass on this one as well. You don't necessarily need to worry about that. Again, same thing applies. You can go ahead and be patient with souls and be able to build your characters without much of a problem. Then we are going to have the Black Friday Special Ruby package. Now this one here, in my opinion, is the most interesting. This one's going to give you, upon purchasing it, 800 rubies and and a Black Friday mystery box. But every single day for a week, you are going to be able to pick up 400 rubies as well as a plus capsule mystery box. So this is going to net you 15 capsules per day. So this is pretty cool as well. So in general, you guys, this isn't going to be a bad box at all. As you guys can see here, you're going to get these capsules, you're going to get that Black Friday mystery box and those rubies for logging in. And so basically with this, you're going to be able to pick up one box and 800 rubies upon purchase, and then you'll get 400 rubies a day for a week. This one, in my opinion, is definitely a good value and one that I would definitely take a look at if I were you. If I were picking any of these up, this would be the one that I would be the most interested in, and I do think that this one has the most value proposition of all these things here for the price. Outside of that, there is value for some of these other packages, but that's going to be more so if you're a whale. So in my opinion, that is definitely going to be the most dolphin or minnow friendly one, but it comes down to what you can budget. So next up here, we are going to have the Imprint Stone Enhancement Hammer discount package. This one is going to get you 600 rubies. It is going to get you a Black Friday mystery box, and then 30 elite enhancement hammers and 100 rare enhancement hammers. So on this one here, this isn't bad for $12.99. This is actually really good for $12.99 in general. So for a minnow package, if you want to pick up a nice dirt cheap one for what you're getting, this one isn't bad at all. Those hammers are always going to be nice to have, and then that Black Friday mystery box and those rubies are also going to be in there. So for $12.99, I don't think that this is a bad one. It's kind of middle of the road to me. It isn't one that I would definitely pick up. I'm not going to be going for any of these, I don't get the feeling. But if I were a minnow or a dolphin looking to spend a little bit and I needed hammers, that would be the way to go. But at the same time, really the biggest reason why you'd want to spend money on this is for the hammers. So it really comes down to your hammer inventory, but there is value to be had there, even if it is going to be a little bit on the lower end. Now we are going to have the Moon Imprint Stone crafting package here. So basically this one is going to give you a ton of resources for building up and getting some of those boxes that you would craft for your different stones. So as you guys can see here, you are going to get quite a bit of ore. You're going to get plenty of the core boxes as well as the imprint shards, and then you're going to get some Chapter of Fight auto clear tickets and a Black Friday mystery box for $24.99. In my opinion, I would pass on this. It isn't bad, but it isn't good either, so I would just pass on that one. And then finally, you guys, for the Black Friday deals, we have the Attack Moon and Star Plus Imprint Stone Selection Package. So this is an interesting one. You're going to get 2,000 rubies, you are going to get 2 Black Friday mystery boxes, and then you are going to be able to get an Attack Moon or Star Plus Imprint Stone Selection Box. So this is really cool, you guys. These come around very rarely. As you guys can see, you can select any of these that you would want for your characters, and in general this is going to be pretty nice, I guess, if you're a whale. When it comes to whales, it gets kind of murky because they don't really mind spending the money that much as long as it has something in the package that they're purchasing that is going to be worth it to them. So for whales, I can definitely see them wanting to go for this just for this selector, because that is something that doesn't come along very often. But in general, if I were just anybody else, I wouldn't even bother looking at this. This is a okay-ish value, I guess, but I think it's way overpriced, and I would never spend the money on something like this. If this were 4,000 rubies or something, then maybe, but right now as it sits, you're really just getting 2,000 rubies and 2 Black Friday mystery boxes, and at the end of the day, you're really just paying $80 for an imprint stone selector, which honestly is not worth it at all. So in my opinion, you guys, this is kind of a mixed bag this year. Some of these are decent, but most of them are going to be things that I would never want to go for. Really, like I said, this is going to be the one I see the most value in, and then from there, if you want to take a look at these for your rubies, like I said, maybe something to look at. But in general, outside of this one here, I don't know that I would even take into consideration the rest of these, but that's just my opinion. I'm not going to tell you guys how to spend your money. Now, next up here, let's take a look at the passes. So as you guys may or may not be aware, we do have 2 new passes, and they are going to be themed around the Guilty Gear collaboration. So let's take a look and see if they are going to be worth it this time around. So as far as what you're going to get for the $5 pass, you'll see you'll get some AP, you'll get 400 rubies, you're going to get some gold, you'll get some Element Soul selection boxes, 120 auto clear tickets, and then you will get 5 tokens, and these are going to be single tokens, for the Volume 1 fighters for Guilty Gear, you're going to get 1 multi total worth of the silver tokens for the battle cards, and then 5 summons, and they're single summons, again, keep that in mind, for Volume 2. So in general, do I think this is worth $5? Yes, I do. I think that this is definitely worth $5, especially if you're somebody that is a huge fan of Guilty Gear. This is definitely something I would take a heavy look at, and probably something I would recommend that you pick up if you're planning on spending just a little bit on this game right now, especially with the collaboration. So this is definitely worth it, in my opinion. You're going to get these summons here, which are definitely invaluable around these times, and then you get a little bit of rubies, which is whatever, but you do get a sizable amount of the auto clear tickets, and you get a decent chunk of AP, so definitely not bad. So I would definitely say for $5 you could do far worse. Now when it comes to the $50 one, this is of course going to be the biggest question. So this is the $50 question, as it were. So basically you're going to get 1,000 AP, 3,500 rubies, 100 of the Awakened Tier XP capsule mystery boxes, 200 of the plus capsule selection boxes. You're going to get another 100 for the XP capsules for your Awakening Tier XP capsules, and these are selection boxes this time around. You're going to get 5 of the Element Fest memory selection boxes. You're going to get 2 Attack Plus Imprint Stone selection boxes, and then really this is where you start to get into the big value. So you will see that you will get 3 of these Guilty Gear Fest memory mystery boxes. Now these are only going to include the non-SS character memories, and these are random. However, basically the way I look at this is you can basically look at this as spending $50 to get an SS generic memory. That is, if you haven't already crafted both of them in the Dimension Exchange for the Guilty Gear collab. So that is a way that you could look at that, and there's definitely value to be had there. Then you're going to get 60 rare enhancement hammers and 20 elite enhancement hammers, and then we round it out with 2 multis respectively for the fighters for each fighter banner for Guilty Gear, and then a multi for the cards. So in general, for $50 this time around, I think that this definitely has the value to it. This is one of the better battle passes that we've seen in quite a while, and it is themed around the collaboration, which you love to see. So if I were you guys and I was looking to be spending a sizable chunk of money outside of the $5 for that $5 pass, this is the one that I would recommend to you guys. Even considering all of those Black Friday deals that we just talked about, I think that this is more valuable right now than any of those. So that, in my opinion, is going to be the way I would go if I had the money to be spending here. I'm not going to be doing that, mainly because I'm already pretty much tapped out on Guilty Gear for most of what I want. I may go back in for Eno, or at least go back in on Volume 1 at some point, just a little bit, but in general, I think that this is something I personally will not be picking up, but I definitely think that considering the fact that you can parlay these here into a generic memory, and you can pick up these summons, and you get a nice chunk of rubies as well, that for the price, this is definitely going to be worth it. And something like this is definitely going to be what I think about when I look at packages like that $80 whale package for Black Friday that we just talked about, and I try to weigh the pros and the cons and the overall proposition of value when it comes to these packages, because honestly, I would much rather save the extra $30 and get this than spend the extra $30 and not be able to get all this stuff, especially, like I said, with this collaboration being around and being as good as it is. So in general, you guys, that's my opinion this time around on the battle passes. I think both of them are going to be worth it if you have money to spend on the game, and I do think that there is a definite proposition of value to be had here. It just comes down to what you can afford. But anyway, you guys, that is going to do it for me in this video. I just want to do a quick Black Friday video for all of you so you knew what you were looking at. Until the next one, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.
Continue.